Claiming for personal injury in Singapore. Procedure and claim amounts. What is a personal injury? A personal injury is a physical or mental injury that is inflicted on your body by another. This normally arises in a traffic accident, including e-scooter accidents, an accident at work, or purely due to someone else's negligence, such as botched medical procedures. There are many ways a personal injury can arise, and therefore many ways one can claim for compensation. The most common way, however, is to bring an action for negligence. Bringing a negligence claim. To claim under the tort of negligence, you will need to establish that the person you are suing against owed you a duty of care, breached that duty of care due to a wrongful act or omission, thus resulting in your personal injury, and caused a damage that is of a foreseeable nature. More information can be found in our other article on suing for negligence. Do note that the amount claimed can be reduced by the court if you are found to be contributory negligent, i.e., your own negligence had contributed to the accident. You can be taken to be contributory negligent if you fail to take reasonable care of yourself. For example, if you jaywalk and thus end up in an accident, the court may reduce the amount of damages, i.e. monetary compensation, you can claim, as compared to if you had gotten into an accident while using the pedestrian crossing. The amount by which the damages will be reduced depends on how relevant your contributory negligence was to the personal injury suffered. For example, if you would have still been injured despite taking reasonable care to prevent the accident from happening, it is possible that your damages will not be reduced substantially. What are the damages I can claim? You can claim damages for your personal injury if you can show liability, i.e. fault, on the part of the other party. This will be to compensate you for any physical and mental suffering caused to you. In this regard, you may wish to run the Singapore Academy of Law's Motor Accident Claims online stimulator that will show how liable the other party may be for the accident. You can also get an estimate of the amount of damages you can claim for your injury. However, note that the stimulator only provides basic information and does not predict what will happen should your case go to court. Hence, it is important to consider how the court will calculate the damages and the factors it will take into consideration. See below. Generally, you can claim two forms of damages: general damages and special damages. You may also be awarded punitive damages and costs to cover your legal fees. General damages are damages that compensate for losses naturally arising from the injury. This includes pain and suffering, loss of future earnings and loss of limbs. To prove pain and suffering, you need to be conscious at the time of the injury, and the amount claimable would depend on your capacity to feel pain and whether the pain is merely temporary. More information can be found in our other article on how to quantify pain and suffering. How to calculate general damages to calculate pain and suffering and future medical expenses. The courts generally use a reference book titled Guidelines for the Assessment of General Damages to estimate the amount of damages one should claim. For example, in the case of Cake Yen Fei vs. Yo Chie Wat, Cake had gotten into a road traffic accident caused by Yo. As a result of the accident, Cake's right leg had to be amputated. The court in this case followed the reference book that provided a range of $40,000 to $70,000 for pain and suffering from a below-the-knee amputation of one leg. The court then chose to increase the limit to $80,000 as Cake, who was then at a young age of 20 years, went through a prior surgery to salvage the leg, and had continued to experience pain even after 4 years had passed since the accident.